Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd try something just a little bit different today. I've got my Rumi quotes deck here, and I thought I would go ahead and pull a Rumi quote, and then maybe we'll go out, have a little nature walk, and ruminate on the topic. Rumi Ruminations. See how clever that is? My dad joke game is really starting to approach final form, and I'm very excited for that, I guess. Anyway, you must learn to be a diver if you wish to discover pearls. Ooh, you must learn to be a diver if you wish to discover pearls. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go on a walk. Yeah, so diving deep to find pearls. I like that. Fortune favors the bold. Don't know exactly what I want to say about that idea or that concept, but I do think that it applies to lots of areas of life. Yesterday, I talked a lot about discipline and stuff in that video about the masculine, but something that I sort of didn't mention or get into was diving deep into the shadow work and all that kind of stuff. So you could, by doing what I was describing yesterday, adding all that discipline and that busyness, you could find a way to sort of bypass some of those demons that you might be carrying around. And it's really, really important to face them and be aware of them, rather than put yourself in a position where you're just suppressing it or filling in that space, because that will always come back up and come back around if it's not addressed. So yeah, something that I kind of wish I would have mentioned in the previous video, but it kind of applies to today's Rumi quote anyway. So we do have to dive deep. We have to look, into the dark corners of our persona and where the wounds are, and really address those things. And yeah, we all have the capacity. So I heard this concept not that long ago, was kind of describing the lens through which most people view the world, in kind of three forms of like victim, villain, and savior, kind of viewing things through that lens. And I think in a lot of ways, most of us are very, very scared to find out like our capacity for playing the villain. I think a lot of us are a lot more comfortable playing the victim, or sometimes think that we can play the savior, and maybe in unhealthy attachments with people or whatever, things like that. But to dive like deep into like what's underlying all of that can really benefit you. You're actually, it's a very preventative thing, I think, to try to understand your capacity for evil, because you kind of can identify maybe the warning signs for yourself about like how, when you know that you're going to wind up doing something you may regret later on in life, hurting other people or things like that. So yes, it pays to dive deep into the shadow. And I think shadow work is something that gets bypassed frequently for most people, and it's not an intentional bypass. I think it happens very accidentally, I guess, without our awareness, because even some of those practices of like quote unquote doing the work in the spiritual community, that it turns into more of a ritual than anything. And I think the ritual can actually sort of take over what the intention of the ritual was to begin with. So don't be afraid to dive deep into your shadow work and get real honest with yourself, because that is the really the first step to doing some pretty profound healing, and then actually being in a position to move forward in your life with a lot of peace, inner peace more than anything. That is what I want more than happiness, if that makes any sense. Peace is more important to me than happiness, but that's probably a topic for another day. I think that's probably all I wanted to say, so we'll check back in the van and maybe do a little bit of tarot on the topic if I feel the need. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. Maybe I won't put my thumb over the camera today when I find something beautiful to film. Anyway, if I find something beautiful to film, which, if we're honest, everything is always beautiful if you actually pay attention. It's a perspective thing. So this forest is pretty beautiful. And the sun's finally coming out and it's warm and I feel good. So I hope you guys are feeling good today. All right, I will talk to you later. Whoa. I don't think I caught that. That frog, I was hanging out right next to a frog. I didn't even realize. Startled them. Anyway. So one of the things I didn't touch on while I was walking was the other side of that quote, and I think probably more what the intention originally was, is that, you know, risks and efforts yield rewards. You know, that's the main thing I think that's going on there. So, you know, the more attention you put on something, the more energy flows towards it, and the more that thing can affect your life, you know, positively or negatively in a lot of ways. So, but it just occurred to me that, yeah, it's kind of a large facet of the idea to ignore. You know, the ones that dive deepest get the biggest pearls, I guess, or the something stuff. But I just thought I'd go ahead and grab the tarot also and just see if it has anything to say regarding that Rumi quote and the idea of diligence and diving, you know, diligence with where your attention and energy are flowing, basically. And I do have here the Four of Swords and the Ace of Wands that came out together. Four of Swords and Ace of Wands. Like, are you sleeping on an idea? Look at what's underneath too. The underlying is the Ace of Cups. So this, like, it kind of speaks again maybe to a new opportunity, right? A new beginning, something with passion and emotional fulfillment. And it's something that you haven't started yet. Maybe you don't feel confident in starting it yet, or you feel like you just haven't recovered from something yet, which I totally get. Obviously, as vulnerable as I've been on this channel the last few videos, I mean, you can tell that I've gone through some things recently, and I mean, I'm kind of in a wounded space myself, but also I've been getting messages for myself about, okay, it's time now to apply, you know, to apply myself and start going after what I truly desire in this life and everything else. So, and I think that message applies to everyone here, especially this month. You know, I am not a good astrologer, but I will say that we have like everything direct for a good chunk of time here in March, and it's going to be a great month for those who are able to sort of work with that energy and apply yourself. So if you're on the fence about something, I would say that this would be a good time to get your diving equipment in order and your pearl getting thing. Okay, I just want to start that over. That got really awkward at the end there. But yeah, get your diving equipment. It's time to prepare and start taking those first steps towards whatever it is that pearl is to you, you know. Whatever that pearl is for you, it's time. So that's it. Have a good day. I will see you next time. All right, one last thing really quick before I go. I noticed the Rumi quote with the concept of diving, and with the Ace of Cups in the tarot, there's some water here. And I feel like maybe for some of us out there, part of this idea of learning to dive, to find pearls, has to do with our emotional vulnerability. And yeah, that's interesting. I see something that's heart-shaped. I just noticed it, so I think I'm on the right track here. But some of you out there, maybe it's time to embolden yourself and be open to love. That's it. And that is about as far down that rabbit hole as I'm going to go, because I did say I wasn't going to use tarot for other people, but it's not about other people, it's about you. You need to understand that you are worthy of love. So even if you were wounded and you feel ill-equipped, or you know, like you're lacking in some way, I don't think that's the case. So that's for some of you guys, maybe all of you guys, maybe me, I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.